Reports are circulating online claiming that 50 Cent made controversial remarks allegedly targeting Magic Johnson's son, E.J. Johnson, calling him disgusting. The rumor alone has exploded across social media, triggering heated debates about respect, identity, and celebrity boundaries. Fans are now divided, some defending 50 Cent's reputation for trolling culture, while others say this goes too far, especially when it involves personal identity and family matters.
50 Cent just stepped into the chat with some bold words about Magic Johnson's son, E.J. Johnson. And yeah, this one's gonna hit a nerve. EJ, who uses she/they pronouns, recently said they don't attract gay men at all, claiming the guys they date are 100% straight.
Attract gay men, and I'm not attracted to gay men. Like, it's just not a thing. No, but to be honest, it's like that's why I don't go to gay clubs. I don't go to, gay things, because it's like the men that I attract are not there.
That statement had people side-eyeing hard because it doesn't line up for everyone. EJ has also made it clear they don't identify as transgender and have no plans to medically transition, which adds another layer to the whole situation. Now here's where things get even more confusing for a lot of people. EJ presents in a very feminine way and is comfortable using she, but at the same time rejects being called a woman, saying they're a gay man who attracts straight men.
But even I told them on my birthday, in June, that I was like, we're not doing he, we're not doing man, we're not doing gay. And it was very freeing. Even like son, I was like, the world tried to give me that label, like Magic Johnson's son. And I was like, well, he's dead. And now there is Miss Thing. We're not doing that either.
Yeah, that's where the internet starts spinning. And of course, 50 Cent wasn't about to stay quiet. He came through blunt saying, if you as a man are attracted to EJ Johnson, you are not straight. Simple as that. He doubled, down to basically saying labels don't change that point.
The moment 50 Cent heard Ed Johnson say they attract only straight men, something snapped. And it wasn't quiet. It wasn't subtle. It was immediate, sharp, and brutally direct. Because to 50, this wasn't just a statement. It was a contradiction screaming to be exposed. He didn't ask questions. He didn't try to understand. He drew a line and dared anyone to cross it.
Now the internet is split right down the middle. Some people are calling 50 out for being out of line, while others are backing him and questioning EJ's take.
And suddenly, the internet wasn't debating opinions. It was choosing sides in a war of definitions. Is straight still what people thought it meant? Or is it being reshaped right in front of us? 50 wasn't having it. He doubled down, louder each time, as if repetition could break through what he sees as confusion. And the more he spoke, the more the silence around this topic started to feel.
But let's be honest, a lot of people are actually backing 50 on this one. And things really heated up after EJ made a comment that didn't sit right with many women. EJ straight up said no woman alive looks better than them. Yeah, that line had people reacting instantly. This all came out during an interview with Carlos King, where EJ shared that they even asked their parents, Magic and Cookie, to stop calling them he, man, or even son, pushing instead for they or she. EJ made it clear they're not transitioning into a woman, but still prefer those pronouns, which already had people trying to make sense of it. But then came the comment that really stirred things up. EJ claimed that in every room they walk into, they look better than any woman there.
And they were like, well, you can't wear skirts. And I was like, well, why not? It's like my inner being was like, there's nothing wrong with this, especially if I look cuter than any girl does. Like, what's the problem? What's the issue? And that's exactly how I apply it to myself these days in the way that I present, like in my feminine regalia. I've always been a feminine being, and that's just how I best express myself. But I'm like, listen, I'm out all the time, and I'm killing a dress and no one else is. The girls in the room are not doing it. They don't look cute. They're not dressed to any nines. So
that statement didn't land well at all, especially with women who felt it crossed the line. And it didn't stop there. EJ also said they don't date gay men and don't even spend time in gay clubs. Instead, they said they go to straight spaces to meet men. When Carlos asked about labels, EJ brushed it off, saying they don't care how someone identifies as long as they're comfortable. but then added that most of the men they date have been with women for most of their lives before meeting them, which only added more fuel to the debate. So when you piece it all together, this is where people really start scratching their heads. E.J. Johnson says they're not he, but also not a trans woman, yet they only want to date men who identify as straight, men who usually date women. That mix alone had social media going off before 50 Cent even said a word. Regular people online were already breaking it down in the simplest way possible.
If you wear a size 27 shoe and you 7'5" with a 7-foot wingspan from fingertip to fingertip, I don't care how much makeup you put on. I don't care how many expensive dresses you put on. I don't care what type of heels you put on them 27 size shoe feet. I don't care how prissy you are. You cannot clear a woman on her worst day.
The main argument kept popping up again and again. If a man is involved with E.J. Johnson, then calling himself straight doesn't really add up. A lot of folks pointed out that being intimate with someone who was born male challenges that label, no matter how someone presents or what pronouns they use.
E.J. Johnson, shut the f*** up. Like, say what the f*** you gotta say and get the f*** on. Because what the f*** do you mean you like to be with straight men who used to be with women? You like DL men, they're f***ing gay. Like, what is this competition that y'all have with f***ing women? Like, I don't f***ing understand that. That bugs me the f*** out. Like, I look cuter in a dress than most women. Who the f*** asked you? To know the f*** you don't.
One user on X said, so they attract men that are still in the closet or bisexual. Got it. And another added, gay men are attracted to men who enjoy being men, whether they're masculine or not. Why would a gay man want to date a man who wants to be treated like a woman? Those takes were everywhere.
You cannot clear the blueprint of what you're trying to be, E.J. Johnson. I don't know if y'all saw that, where he was talking about how he doesn't attract straight men. He doesn't attract gay men. He only attracts straight men. And that every time he walks into a room, he always looks better than all the women in there. And he gets like all the men or whatever, they're all attracted to him, I guess. And he just clears all the women because they never look good. They don't look as good as he does.
Then came even harsher opinions, with some people saying chasers have the mental delusion that they are straight. Let them be delulu with the men who think they are women. That comment alone had people arguing back and forth nonstop. But the biggest contradiction people couldn't ignore was this. EJ says labels don't matter, yet clearly avoids dating gay men. So now people are asking, if labels don't matter, why draw the line there? That's the question that keeps this whole debate going strong.
And it's like, you know what, no shade, but clearly, and what's funny is that I think that he actually believes the lies that he tells himself. EJ, baby, you're still a man. I know you like dresses and makeup, and I know you like pretty things. I do too. But you're still a man. So if a man is sleeping with you or wants to sleep with you or wants to have a romantic relationship or connection with you, he's gay, honey. You don't attract straight men.
A lot of people are also stuck on one big question that keeps coming up again and again. EJ says, I'm not a he, but then focuses only on dating men who are attracted to women. So people are asking, how does that line up? If you're not identifying as a man, why does it matter whether the men you date are straight or gay? Shouldn't it be about the connection instead of the label?
You got a whole brick face with a fucking pixie cut. Who do you look better than? Like, who the f*** you look better than? Like, it's one thing to want to be a woman. Okay, that's you. But you can't be happy within yourself if you still make everything a competition when it comes to women. You're not happy being who you are, and it shows. Because if you happy with who you are on the inside, you would not have to bring up how you look better than a woman in any outfit, in any day, in any lifetime.
That confusion is exactly what pushed this whole situation into overdrive. The backlash got so loud that it eventually reached 50 Cent, and you already know he didn't hold back. 50 wrote, wait if you're in a relationship with you're gay, keeping it blunt and straight to the point. Then when people started calling him out, he didn't soften his stance at all. He doubled down hard. He said that if a man sleeps with someone who was born male, then that man is gay. No exceptions. That take had people arguing even more, with both sides going at it nonstop. 50 also addressed the criticism directly, saying it stings when people claim he has something against the LGBTQ+ community. He even brought up his personal life, explaining that his own mother, who passed when he was young, identified as queer and had a girlfriend around. Now tying it back to EJ was born male, has said they don't identify as a man and doesn't want to be called son by Magic and Cookie. But biologically, that's still the piece that keeps this entire debate going strong. That's the core of it, and people keep coming back to that point.
People like EJ with their mindset are not happy with themselves. They done did everything under the sun and still not happy. Why? What do women got to do with you in a dress? Nothing. You're 10 feet tall. About 300 pounds, all muscle. No shade, but keep it a buck. You like DL men.
EJ says they only deal with straight men, but according to 50 Cent, that just doesn't add up at all. In his view, any man involved with EJ cannot be considered 100% straight. No way around it. So when EJ talks about attracting only straight men, 50's stance is simple. Either that label is being stretched or there's confusion about what straight really means. But there's another layer here that's getting people even more fired up, and that's what many see as a lack of self-awareness. EJ openly rejects being called a woman even while using she pronouns, making it clear they don't identify that way. Yet at the same time, EJ confidently claims they look better than any woman in the room. That contradiction is what has people raising eyebrows everywhere. Think about it for a second. EJ doesn't want the label of woman and doesn't identify as one, but still feels comfortable comparing themselves to women and saying they come out on top every time. And people are pointing out that the same looks being praised, fashion, makeup, styling, are all rooted in feminine expression. That's where critics are saying things stop making sense. From designer outfits to full glam, wigs, and luxury bags, EJ embraces a very bold and feminine presentation. So the conversation now is louder than ever. People are asking how someone can fully lean into that image, enjoy the attention that comes with it, and still distance themselves from the identity tied to it. That tension is exactly why this topic isn't cooling down anytime soon, and that's where some people say the conversation takes another sharp turn. Critics argue EJ embraces the spotlight and the attention, but avoids the tougher parts that usually come with identity, growth, and struggle. And that's where talk about privilege starts getting loud. EJ was born into a life most people can't even imagine. Their father is Magic Johnson, not just an NBA legend, but a billionaire businessman who built everything from the ground up.
My father is Magic Johnson. He has $3 billion. To most people, that sounds like paradise. To me, it feels like a curse. First, it feels like my entire existence is only meant to prove his greatness, and I'm just an ordinary person. When people look at me, they only see the son of a legendary athlete. Nothing I do feels right. Nothing I do feels good enough. I can't find my own identity. Living like this is painful. Second, I started destroying everything on purpose. I wasted $26 million. I sold the family mansion. I even sold my mother's wedding ring. When my mother was in the hospital, I was out partying all night.
Magic has spoken about working hard from a young age, even doing tough jobs with his dad in freezing conditions, learning discipline early on. That mindset helped him create a massive empire through focus and consistency. Now people start making comparisons, and this is where opinions get blunt. EJ has had visibility through shows like Rich Kids of Beverly Hills, which centered around wealthy young adults living a high-end lifestyle. There was also a spin-off, EJ NYC, along with some hosting work on E! News. But critics say that exposure largely came from the Johnson name. Stories about Magic's approach to business add even more to the discussion. For example, he reportedly pushed his daughter Elisa to come back with a strong business plan before supporting her eyewear line, even turning it down at first because it wasn't ready. That's the level of discipline he expects. So now people are asking, what has EJ truly built on their own? Some say it's mostly social media presence and personal branding. Others argue that EJ hasn't really spoken much about the advantage of coming from that kind of background. And that's why this debate keeps getting louder, with people split on whether this is confidence or something else entirely. And this is where critics really stop holding back. Some people are calling EJ a spoiled rich kid who's never had to hear no a day in their life. They point to the luxury lifestyle, custom outfits, multiple Birkin bags, living big in Beverly Hills, and then hear EJ say they look better than any woman and it just doesn't sit right with them. At the same time, they feel like EJ shuts down criticism and avoids the tougher questions, which only makes things more intense.
I said cruel things to my father. I told him I would only feel free when he was gone. I even said I would throw his ashes in the trash. Everyone called me a monster. They said I didn't deserve to exist. But at that time, it felt like the only way to be seen as myself, not just his son. Third, at the end of 2024, he signed his will and donated all $3 billion to charity. He left me nothing. He thought this would be the hardest punishment for me, but he was wrong. It became the most luxurious gift he ever gave me. Now I no longer owe him the perfect son he wanted. I am finally free.
That's exactly why 50 Cent's comments hit so hard. 50 came from nothing and built everything from the ground up, music, business, all of it. So when he speaks, he's coming from a completely different place, and he's not interested in sugarcoating his opinion for anyone. In his view, he's just calling it how he sees it, no matter who it upsets. Then you've got EJ, who's grown up surrounded by success, support, and protection from a powerful family name. And there's nothing wrong with that, but critics say it can make it harder to handle blunt honesty when it comes your way. And 50? He's not changing his stance just to make anyone more comfortable. That's just not who he is. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you agree with 50's take, or do you see EJ's side of things? And how do you feel about EJ saying they only attract straight men? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video, and stay locked in for what's coming next.